So this is about Miss Brittany Renner for the most part. But outside of that, there was someone on my Facebook page that made the comment that men decide on marriage and women decide on sex. So for Miss Brittany Renner, um, I'm not sure how beneficial it is to tell the world how many people you've been with because we still live in a very patriarchal, judgmental society. And that's just the way it is. It is what it is, pretty much. Um, but I must say, on the other side of what the gentleman said on Facebook, if sex was off the table, then the tables would kind of turn and women would actually be deciding on marriage because that would be the requirement to get the sex. So on the Shannon Sharp show, or it's called Shay Shay or something like that, Talks with Shay Shay, she mentioned that she has been with 35 men. All right. And that set off a worldwide storm, because, that number is astronomical to a lot of people that might hear that. But over the years, the past 50, 100 years, that number is becoming less and less desensitized and increased because people are starting younger. They're in and out of relationships. They are having these open relationships and they're just moving on extremely quickly. And that's just becoming, less and less of an issue. But I think the fact that she said it out loud is wreaking a lot of havoc with some people. So men basically, with a woman in her body count, it's an issue usually because of a man's ego. They don't want to know that you were with someone better than them. They don't want everyone else to know your history, your past, how many people you've been with. Because Shannon made the point that, okay, well, why are you telling the world? If you didn't tell the world, then it would make it a little easier for, a guy to pursue you, even if that was your body count. And again, like I said, that plays into the male ego a bit. So for men, it's the ego. But if it were the other way around, and you're a female dealing with a man, our main concern really wouldn't be your body count for the most part. It would be, okay, diseases, how many children, how many other mothers would I have to contend or compete with or split time with. It's socially acceptable for a man to be promiscuous. And women have been taught to accept the fact that it is socially acceptable for a man to be promiscuous. But my question has always been, if women are supposed to remain chaste, then who are the women that these men are being promiscuous with? If most women are supposed to be, virtuous and virgins for the most part until they get married, that means there are only going to be a handful of women that these men are going to be sleeping with, and they are going to be promiscuous by default because most of the men are going to be sleeping with her or with them. So the talking point is basically this. If you were formerly a male hoe, you can still get married. It shouldn't be an issue because that's what men are expected to do and, pretty much, pushed to do, and encouraged to do. But if you were formerly a female hoe, then marriage is not in the cards or the picture for you. And hey, that's the double standard of what we're dealing with here. However, I must say this: after her interview or her talk with the students at Jackson State at the request of Deion Sanders, she said her DMs blew up. So with that being said, men still wanted to be with her, knowing this about her, knowing her past. It's just that I guess people are making the argument that no one will want to wife her because of this. And in this day and time, I'm going to tend to disagree because that's changing a lot. The mindset and mind frame of a lot of people are changing. You have lots of promiscuous women that are getting married, have gotten married, porn stars and things of that nature. It's just going to take the right man, a strong man, and but it's not an impossible task. If you're the woman for him and he's the man for you, it's not an impossible task. So for Miss Brittany Renner and what she's going through, I think the issue is the fact that she actually said it out loud. Just like when you had Miss Amber Rose talking about the slut walk, and how women are shamed for this and women are shamed for that, and that's the truth. Because speaking for myself, when I was a young lady, I was not active at all. I wasn't doing anything at all except just talking to people because boys wanted to talk to me. So at 15 years old, I was labeled a hoe, and I wasn't doing anything at all except just talking to people. But older, like these were adults actually doing this to me. It wasn't even people my age or boys or girls my age doing it. It was adults. Just because they saw me talking to a guy, I was labeled a hoe, you know? And the daughter of this particular person that really was saying this about me, she was the one who ended up having a child at the age of 16. So, for women, sometimes it can be a little touch and go. We get blamed and accused of doing things that we're not doing, that we've never done, just because of the perception or what people think. But this young lady actually came out and said, and she told the world, and that's her truth. Some people are meant to tell their truth, either to, kind of curve other people from going that route, or just to tell their story because there are other people that can actually relate. So I'm not bashing this young lady. She just came out and she told, her story. And I really don't think it's going to stop her from doing anything or getting what her heart's desire, because she made it very clear that her heart's desire is to find love and to find a man that loves her, and to actually get married. And I hope that she can actually find that, because there are people that have been in much worse situations, crazy situations, that, get their heart's desires and get their happily ever after. But yeah, that's just something I wanted to talk a little bit about, the double standard that we're dealing with still. And, it's just one of those things. It's changing. We can see it changing right before our eyes. However, there's still a great bit of things to be dealt with. I am not saying whatsoever that it's okay to be promiscuous, because there's a lot of things nowadays that we have to worry about. You have to worry about, of course, bringing another life into the world, all of these different diseases, and just the breakdown of the family unit itself. But I was just bringing this forward just to talk about, the double standard a little bit. And maybe she should not have told the world. But at the same time, some people are meant to tell their truth for whatever reason they need to tell their truth. Thank you all for listening.